Is this thing on?
We've ended the war on American energy. We were in war. And we've ended the war on beautiful, clean coal, one of our great natural resources.
They felt pretty comfortable after day 2.
Get your words straight, Jack.
Everybody comes in your grandmother ear.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
And he's like this, and we were, I need water, help me, I need water, help.
And I have a simple proposition here. I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you'd like to see help out, if not both the other by, give me a look.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear word.
They felt pretty comfortable after day 2.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out, and I never...
Everybody comes in your grandmother ear.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people.
They felt pretty comfortable after day 2.
They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint, when they thought about it, because whoever thought of that idea, I think is in big trouble.
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
It was an amazing phone call I made. 40 Wall Street actually was the second tallest building in downtown Manhattan. And it was actually, before the World Trade Center, was the tallest. And then when they built the World Trade Center, it became known as the second tallest, and now it's the tallest.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position. Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position. Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right?
Let me just tell you, I get along with everybody, which is my obligation, my company, for myself, etc. Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake, all right? Let me just... Unbelievable.
I'm about to be 34 and I have no family.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. As far as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people. I am the least racist person in this room.
Hello? Is this thing on? How's it going, folks? All right. Okay. What's up? Woo! Coming at you a little earlier than usual today, because the protest stuff is starting earlier than usual today, and as a result, I'm here earlier than usual as I need to get ready, as I said, earlier than usual. So this is gonna be, I'm gonna speed run this shit. This is gonna be a speed run episode. I'm speed running. I got something like stuck in my throat, man. I fought Muqtada al-Sadr's terrorists in Iraq. They wore black. The burned, looted, and murdered. Now we have them here, and they look the same through my scope. The fuck? This motherfucker's LARPing up a storm. What are you playing, Ghost Recon, bro? What the fuck is that? Like, what? Are you fucking playing a new Tom Clancy game, bro? It's a little weird. Go do that somewhere else, though. I'd appreciate that. Yeah, I'm hungry, man. I want to eat, like, breakfast. That's, like, a thing that exists. But, yeah, so welcome, folks. Today is May 29th, 2021. It's a crazy, it's a crazy time. I mean, again, I want to remind everyone, a year ago, the 3rd Precinct in Minneapolis was burned to the ground, and that's pretty cool. So, it's been a year since Donald Trump hid in the bunker, and that's, again, pretty fucking cool. Things going on right now are a little less interesting, but still very interesting nonetheless. And, I can't wait to go into the recap. First, I would like to talk about, I recorded a press conference for the community yesterday. And you can go watch this on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description. But you can go watch this on YouTube. I put this on my channel. And so I want to go over this, actually. So, you can go watch the full presser if you'd like. But essentially, and I'll just put that on for B-roll. But essentially, Tommy Wooten said that he would meet with us only if we were to have 30 people maximum. Interesting. And only if media was banned. Interesting. And only if all cell phones and recording devices are banned. Isn't that interesting? Like, Tommy Wooten has no problem meeting with murderers, his sheriff deputies. No problem talking to actual murderers with cell phones around. That's fine. That's great. He loves his little murder clan, right? But when it comes to talking to a black person, sorry, can't have any cell phones. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. So these demands are obviously ridiculous. And so we responded in turn by saying that we refuse to accept those demands as, again, they are ridiculous. And so we decided to, instead of dealing with the sheriff, have a community day and a cookout. And I'm going to get into that in a moment. But I just want to talk about the sheriff's department. And I also want to talk about ECPD. I want to be very clear here. I do not like ECPD. There is not a single cop on Elizabeth City's payroll that I like in any capacity. I think they are all absolute scumbags, and I want to be very clear here. Now, there are people in the community of Elizabeth City that disagree with me. They might have a friend on the force. I think if you have a friend on the force, why didn't they, do anything about the car attack the other day? I don't know. I didn't get any apologies. No one who got hit got any apologies. So it's strange to me. It's bizarre. But we need to understand, right, that the entire system of governance in Elizabeth City, in Pasquotank County, in North Carolina, in the United States of America, on planet Earth, right, the entire system of governance is corrupt. Right? Now, there's two options when it comes to where we are right now. You have elected officials that are either corrupt, meaning they don't give a fuck about us, or they're useless, meaning they do actually give a fuck about us, but there is nothing that they can actually do when it comes to the governmental apparatus to affect material change, right? So I'm talking about, some of the city council members, right? They're great. I love them. They're fantastic, and they're doing really good work, right? And I again, have nothing but respect for some of them, right? But at the end of the day, right, the best they can do is get Black Lives Matter painted on a road. That's the best they can do at the end of the day. And you really need to understand, what does that do? Does that change anything? No. Does that affect anything? No. And the same goes for the sheriff's department. They're all corrupt, they're all murderers, and they're all disgusting. And the same goes for ECPD. Again, I want to remind everyone that an Elizabeth City Police Department officer, not a Pasquotank County Sheriff's officer, but an Elizabeth City Police Department officer, saw the driver, who was very angry, and then specifically drove out of the way and let the driver hit us, right? The deputy police chief has answered no questions on the subject. 0. Not even apologized. The actual police chief has answered no questions. 0. Not even apologized. And even some of the city council members have asked why the officer got out of the motherfucking way and let a driver, a neo-Confederate, hit us, right? And hey, police chief ain't responding. The deputy police chief ain't responding. Lieutenant Felton's afraid to go outside anymore. He's not going to respond. So what the fuck are people still defending ECPD for? I'm sorry, but we need to be protected from the police. The police are the problem. The sheriffs and Elizabeth City Police. They are working together to try to destroy our movement, and they tried to get us killed a couple days ago. So I want to be very, 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 very clear that I do not endorse the fist bumping or handshaking of police officers. I think that is a net destruction of our movement. I think it makes us look silly, and I do not think it brings any community solidarity, because my life was put in danger by these people, and I don't want them anywhere around me, let alone being in a jovial fashion in the crowd. I don't want them anywhere near me, right? I want to file a restraining order against every single police officer if I could without going into the police station, right? I want to be very clear about that, right? The sheriffs, right, they murdered Andrew Brown. Full stop. They're garbage. We need to abolish the motherfucking sheriff's department. But look at how ECPD has handled these protests. Horribly. 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 I want to remind everyone, Lieutenant Felton demanded that we walk on one side of the road, and when cars almost hit us, he continued to demand that we walk on one side of the road, and we said, fuck you, and we decided not to, right? And then when we took up the whole roads, the cars stopped attacking us. Until Officer Parr of the Elizabeth City Police Department got out of the way and let a car hit us. I want to be very, very, very clear. There is no such thing as a good police officer. I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry if you're old school. I'm sorry if that's something that you just can't handle hearing in your life. But there is no such thing as a good cop, right? If the system is corrupt, if the laws are corrupt, how can a law enforcement officer be not corrupt? Tell me, if the laws are racist, if the laws are fascist, if the laws are oppressive, how can you tell me anyone who enforces those laws is not racist, oppressive, or fascist? You can't tell me that, because you're lying to yourself and to me, and it makes me think that you think that I'm stupid, right? So I want to be very clear. I do not like cops. I think they're all garbage. I think your friend who's a cop is shit. I think your brother who's a cop is shit. I think your father who's a cop is shit. I have family members that are cops. Guess what, motherfucker? They're shit. They abuse the fuck out of their children. They abuse the fuck out of their family members. And they're just disgusting. They're evil pieces of garbage. So if you want to tell me that there's a cop in your family, you know what that translates to is I need to step a little bit away from you because you are being brainwashed. That's what that tells me. So I want to be very clear with my opinion on that. But again, back into Tommy Wooten. What the fuck is that garbage? This motherfucker is willing to do 13 trillion Facebook Live posts. He's willing to go out and talk to the media, but he won't talk to the community unless the media is not around? Why is that? Why is that? Because he knows that if he meets with us, it's not going to go according to plan. He knows he's going to say something stupid. He knows that he's going to get called out. He knows that he's going to look like a fucking idiot. And he doesn't want the cameras on. He doesn't want people to see his face flush up with redness. He doesn't want that. So he wants to make it all a secret. Well, guess what, motherfucker? We disagree. Sorry about your luck. And again, I want to be very clear. ECPD is covering up Officer Parr's involvement in the car attack. ECPD is covering for the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department. They have done nothing. If ECPD were actually on our side, you know what they would do? They would arrest the officers who murdered Andrew Brown. That's what they would do. You telling me you can't arrest a police officer? I've seen police officers arrested before. Why don't they do it? Why don't they arrest Robert Morgan? Hello? Why don't they arrest Daniel Means? I'm waiting. Hello? Can't hear you. Right, because they're not on our fucking side. Because ECPD has killed people and gotten away with it. They know that they're lucky that they weren't the ones who killed people and got away with it this time. Right? They're lucky. Right? Imagine an alternate universe where Andrew Brown was not assassinated, but instead brought into custody and not killed. Right? And then a couple, let's say 2 months later, ECPD is responsible for killing someone in the street who's unarmed. Right? The whole situation would be entirely different. Would people still be out here saying, oh, but my friend on the police department? No. Right? They wouldn't. So why are you doing this now? All police are corrupt, and I want to be very clear about that. And so, again, the sheriff, garbage, you're garbage, get the fuck away from us. We don't want, unless you come out and do things on our terms, we're not interested. All right, we elected you, not the other way around. You didn't elect us. I had no idea who your fucking name was when I moved here. I didn't give a shit, right? So I'm having to deal with your bitch ass. And so as a result of me having to deal with your bitch ass, Tommy Wooten, guess what, motherfucker? If you want to have a conversation, you have the conversation with me, not the other way around. So that's what I have to say about that. But again, you can watch the full press conference and to see our official, unofficial response to Tommy Wooten and why we are not going to be participating in his little cover-up, garbage little plan. Again, I want to remind everyone on day one, when Andrew Brown was murdered, right, what did Tommy Wooten say? We want full transparency. What? Full transparency? Are you joking? Is that But again, these people just say words, right? And I want to draw an analog. Deputy Police Chief of Elizabeth City Police Department, Jimmy Evans, right? When I asked him if Parr was going to face any disciplinary action, the one time he responded to me was when he said, it's under investigation. Is that still your friend? Is that still your friend? They all speak in the same language. The language of, fuck off, I don't care about what you have to say. I don't care if you almost died today because of my actions. I don't give a shit. I don't view you as human, and I'm going to walk away from you. That is the attitude of the Elizabeth City Police Department. That is the attitude of the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department. They're all garbage. They're all corrupt. They're all rotten. Yes, that is the attitude of the FBI as well. That is the attitude of state troopers. Every single cop, every single one, not 99%, not all of them except for one, not, oh, but my brother, but my sister is so nice, oh, she's beautiful and amazing. No, every single, as soon as you put that badge on, you sell your soul for evil. You are devil incarnate, right? Right? You cannot tell me, unless, right, you're a law enforcement officer and you don't enforce any laws, which, let's be honest, you'd get fired if that were the case. But let's say you're a law enforcement officer who just got hired 3 weeks ago and you haven't enforced any laws yet, and then you decide to like do some epic super cool thing where you hack all the systems and the computers and leak all their private information and abusive force complaints and all, feel free. If you want to do that, all right, you're the one good cop. But until that happens, go fuck yourself. That's what my opinion is on the police. That's what my opinion is on Tommy Wooten. So fuck him, fuck ECPD, fuck Felton, fuck Evans, fuck Buffalo, fuck them all straight to fucking hell. I don't give a shit about any of them. They're all garbage, they're all scumbags, and they're all trying to kill us. They don't want us to march through the streets. They don't want us to protest the government. They want us to behave like good little citizens, like good little consumers. They want us to pay our taxes. They want us to buy our corporate fast food. They want us to be good little drones in the capitalist system. And anything that we do that disrupts their system of capitalism, right, they have had to waste $500,000 not on fixing the potholes, not on fixing electricity prices, not on fixing the water systems, not on fixing our plumbing systems, not on fixing our sewage systems. They wasted $500,000 on giving it to cops so that they could beat the shit out of us. And guess what? ECPD signed off on the curfew. So go fuck yourself. I'm sorry, but seriously, if you want to talk to me, it's fine. If you want to go do your own little thing and just not tell me about it. But if you want to tell me that you think ECPD's on our side, I'm sorry, but you have to think I'm stupid. And guess what? They think you're stupid. I'm telling you this right now, right? Every time a cop fist bumps you, it's propaganda and PR. I want to give you a little bit of an anecdote. In Virginia, when George Floyd was murdered, there was a protest in Virginia, I forget the city, where the cops knelt with the protesters. And then the protest stopped because they thought, oh, we accomplished our goal. The police understand. Fast forward 7 more months, and the same cops, the sergeants, the ones in charge, right, the same cops who knelt at that George Floyd protest were breaching the Capitol trying to overthrow democracy. You need to understand, when a cop fist bumps you, it doesn't make you have more respect within the ranks of the police. It doesn't make you have more power when it comes to talking to the police. It makes the police have more power when it comes to the protests. It makes the police have more control of what happens when it comes to the protests. And it does good propaganda PR for the police department. So I need you to understand, these motherfuckers, they showed their true colors a couple days ago when Officer Parr moved out of the way and Deputy Chief Jimmy Evans laughed off the idea of responding to any questions about it. They showed their true colors. So I'm sorry, but that shit is offensive. I almost died the other day because of these dumb motherfuckers. And we have people that are seriously fucked up and injured because of these motherfuckers. So when you fist bump the cops, that is an insult to the people who had to go to the hospital. That is an insult to the people who almost had to go to the hospital. I'm sorry, but I just find that profoundly offensive, and I wanted to comment on that. So I'm going to move on to the recap here. And fuck Wooten, fuck ECPD, fuck Felton, fuck Evans, fuck Buffalo, fuck them all straight to hell. They're all garbage. And if they resigned tomorrow, the world would be a better place. So I want to get into the recap segment. And again, I'm sorry I'm speedrunning it this morning. Hello, everyone. I love you all. You're so amazing and beautiful people, and you're awesome, and I love you. But, like, also, I'm speedrunning today. And so, like, again, the protests for today are starting in an hour from now, right? So I'm going to finish this up. I want to edit the videos, upload the videos, and then get the fuck out of my goddamn motherfucking house. And it's supposed to rain today, so that's going to be fun. So just, throwing that out there. But yeah, fuck cops. I don't like cops. They're garbage. So I'm just throwing that out there. And I know a lot of people in Elizabeth City listen to my show, right? I have people come up to me, oh, you're so funny. And it's like, first of all, yes, I am so funny. Thank you for noticing. But also, it makes me cry. But again, like, I need you to understand there is no good cop. I've been protesting the government for years, right? I have cops in my family. I got all your little if, ands, or buts I've experience with, and I can tell you right now, these motherfuckers are crazy, right? I'm just letting you know, right? They are using you. You are propaganda, right? I'm telling you this. You are being used, right? It is an abusive relationship. You are being used, okay? So I want to let you know that. So yesterday was the 38th day of protesting the government after the police murder and shooting of Andrew Brown Jr. in the city of Elizabeth City. And on day 38, we decided to do a little bit of a community day. We decided to have a little march, a small demonstration, marching from public safety down to a park And then people made food. We played games. I played my first round of cornhole. If you don't know what cornhole is, I didn't know what it was 24 hours ago, so it's all good. And I want to let you know this right off before we get into any of the other things that I have to say. I played cornhole with children, and I lost every single game. Now, the one game that I won was where I scored 0 points, and it happened to be a team game, and the other person on my team had played cornhole before. So I want to be very clear. I am a loser. I lost, right? I just want to be very upfront, and like everyone needs to know, I lost to children. I lost, right? And so it's not good, folks. But what is good is we decided to march from public safety. Now, again, most people were in the bus because it was hot. Right, so we had like about 20, 30 people. Most people are in the bus because it was hot. And then they were like, should we just drive there? And I was like, hell no, man. I'll march if it's just by myself. So I get a couple people out here. And so I like this picture where you have the flag and the wind, right? You've got like, you got the nice foliage in the background. You got the street. You got the, it's a really good picture. I like it. Also, I want to tell y'all that like I have like a problem with my data plan. I might not be able to upload live footage as much over the next couple days. I'm going to try to upgrade to an unlimited plan, right? So if anyone wants to, like, I'm just throwing this out there. Like, it's a retweet, right? It's an opinion of some. If anyone wants to, like, send me money so that I can upgrade my phone plan to have unlimited data, I would appreciate that because right now I'm not in a good situation. So anyway, so we get back. And, there's kids playing in the park. People are making food. I didn't really, there's not much to record. And maybe I could have done more, but I was just kind of, I was in the moment. I was talking to people. Here's the press conference that I recorded earlier. And then, so we all left around like 9:30. I think I got home by like 10 o'clock. It was a great day. I'm going to be honest. Like, it was a really, really, really good day. I got to meet a lot of new people. Being the only vegetarian in Elizabeth City, there weren't that many options for me to eat, but I tried my best. And, again, I played cornhole with a bunch of children, and I lost horribly. It was embarrassing, and the kids were laughing at me in my face. Some of the kids were laughing in my face, and, I accept that to be, the current state of my life, and I'm working. I'm working really hard on improving the state of my life, but as it stands right now, it's not great. So, but anyway, again, there's really not much to talk about. Now, I want to be very clear that, yes, I did, there's not much to talk about, but that does not mean that the action was unnecessary or not worthwhile, right? Because as I've been saying, the most important aspect of community, right, is getting to know one another, right? You would have talked to me 39 days ago. Who are you? What? Okay. Who are you? I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before. Right? But you talk to me now, and right, I will die for these motherfuckers in Elizabeth City. Right? Like, I'm telling you this right now. Like, the community solidarity aspect of doing day-to-day continuous protests is extremely valuable. Right? And so again, on day one, right, the protests were relatively radical. People did a lot of relatively radical actions, right? But also we didn't really know each other, right? Now let's say day 69 rolls around, right? Let's say, another police department killed someone else, right? Now we all know each other. Now we can all act, and now we can, and so I'm just throwing that out there, right? And so again, the most important aspect of daily protests is not the media, is not the photo ops, is not the chants, although I love all of that stuff, but it's getting to know your neighbor, right? Every time I walk around town now, I have people wave out of their car and say hello to me. That's weird, right? That's strange. I'm not used to that. I'm used to people fucking pulling over and thinking I'm a hooker or something, right? But now everyone knows who I am and they're like, yo, what's up? And it's it's great. It's a great feeling. right? And just, to feel like, you know your neighbor, right? And this is something that's a huge problem in American society and global society, is people don't even know their neighbors. Imagine living next to people and you don't even know their names. Like, that's crazy, right? That's out of control, right? And like, this is the exact society the police and our oppressors have been trying to construct. They've been trying to construct a society where we're all afraid of each other, where we're all scared of each other, right? And it's just horrible. And the most important aspect of community, of protesting, is solidarity. And again, if I can imprint anything on you, it's to just the chants are great, the marching is great, all of that is wonderful and amazing. But the most important aspect is, right, being out there as much as you can, knowing who else is out there, knowing your neighbor, meeting new people, making new friends, and building long-lasting relationships in the place that you live, right? And again, it's amazing. And so I just want to say I'm so proud of Elizabeth City. We're approaching day 40. Not today, but tomorrow will be day 40 of consecutive. I personally have not skipped a single day. Now, I don't know if anyone else can say that, right? I don't know if anyone else can say that. Me personally, I was here all 38 days in a row. I got my vaccine, my arm was hurting, right? Like, I was sore, right? Still went out there. So I'm just throwing that out there. If I can do it, and you're in my similar age and physicality bracket, you can do it too, motherfucker. Unless you have a job. I mean, this is my job, so it's like, okay, But anyway, and so I just want to, 38 days, that's not a small feat. And I keep saying this, but can you name any other city, any other town, any other location that's had 38 days of, and I don't personally place any specific emphasis on nonviolent protesting, but 38 days of nonviolent protesting, right? And again, right-wingers still want to kill us. At this point, as of a couple days ago, I've been getting at least 200 to 300 death threats every day, right? Of people that say, I'm going to go down there and kill you. People that say, I know what you look like. If I see you in the crowd, I'm going to shoot you. I get this every single motherfucking day. And I don't care. I'm not going to hide in my little bedroom from a bunch of fucking crybabies. Come let them fuck me up. I dare you, motherfucker. Come do it. Come to the protest and see what's going to happen when you do that shit, right? It's embarrassing. You are a child. You are a loser, right? But again, what did these Trumpers and neo-Nazis ask for all of 2020? Why don't you just be peaceful? Why don't you just be nonviolent? Why do you have to break things? All right. 38 days. Not a single act of violence on the side of the protesters. And I still get hundreds of death threats every day. We still get cars driving into the crowd. We still get cops driving out of the way so cars can drive into the crowd. Right? I want you to understand. Right? This is what happens when you're nonviolent. Right? I'm not saying that as a way to deter nonviolence, because I think nonviolence has its own particular, every location and every community has their own way and a unique way of protesting the government. I think Elizabeth City right now is into the nonviolence, and I'm totally supportive of that for the time being. But I want you to understand, what have we accomplished with our nonviolent protests? Can you point to any material change for the better? Right? Outside of, again, community solidarity, that's the only thing we got going. And it's a huge thing, and it's a big thing, and it's a profound thing. Right? But we're not going to get any concessions from the government. We're not going to get any concessions from the mayor. We're not going to get any concessions from the sheriff's department. We're not going to get any concessions from Elizabeth City Police Department. We're not going to get any concessions from the Pasquotank County commissioners. We're not going to get any concessions from the North Carolina state legislature. We're not going to get any concessions from the governor. We're not going to get any concessions from the Attorney General of North Carolina. We're not going to get any concessions from the president. We're not going to get anything from anybody. We are going to get nothing. I need everyone to understand. Now, is that to say that you shouldn't fight for it? No, you should continue to fight for it, but you will not have anything to show. Now, again, you should fight for it just so people know you fought for it, and just so you can get these people on record ignoring you. That is valuable. That is an actual piece of tangible evidence that you can use to support the agenda and the movement, right? To say that, look, we did all this, we did everything, we followed all the rules, and they still fucking spit in our face, right? That is valuable. But I need you to curtail your expectations. Justice for Andrew Brown will not happen. Like, I'm just telling you this right now. The whole entire system is corrupt, right? And let's assume the best possible case scenario is that maybe the one person that killed Andrew through the back of the head, maybe that one person will go to jail for like 5 years. Maybe. That is the best case scenario, right? We're not going to get any sort of drug law reform, right, that makes it so that, oh, why are we showing up on the back of a pickup truck looking like you Al-Qaeda looking KKK motherfuckers to serve an arrest warrant for a drug dealer? Right? Why is that? Why is that a thing? Why is drug use criminalized? And like, I can understand why selling drugs, especially drugs laced with things, I can understand why that should be criminalized. Well, why is drug use criminalized? Why is that? Right? The war on drugs started, right, under the Richard Nixon administration, right? They specifically stated, and you can look this up, it is on the record. This isn't like make-believe, this isn't paraphrasing. The reason they started the war on drugs is because they wanted to, quote, lock up the blacks and the hippies. Because those were the biggest demographics that did not vote for Republicans. That's why the war on drugs started. That's why it's still here. Because and again, you go to jails. How many people go to jail because they were caught smoking a blunt on the way home? Are you fucking kidding me? So when you decriminalize drug use, you know what that does? Is it gives a lot less power to drug dealers, right? It gives a lot less incentive for drug dealers to lace their material, right? And it also provides a safe ability for people to utilize drugs. And hey, maybe they can even buy them from the government, right? So that they know the purity, they know all of this and that, right? So I'm just throwing this out there, as a potential policy concession. Hey, I don't know, how about we defund the police department? The Elizabeth City Police Department takes up half the budget of Elizabeth City. Half? What? Half the motherfucking budget? What about the clean water? Our water has 400 times the healthy, safe limit of chloroform in Elizabeth City. 400 times the safe limit of ingestion of chloroform is in our water. They can spend $500,000 on cops, but they can't spend $500,000 on getting a clean water system. They can spend half of our budget on policing, right? But they can't spend half the budget on clean water. They can spend half the budget on policing, but they can't fix the fucking potholes. They can spend half the budget on policing, but they can't lower our electricity prices. They can spend half the fucking budget on policing, but they can't fix all the missing stop signs, right? They can spend half the budget on policing, but they can't fix traffic lights. What? No, they can. They can. They choose not to. And we need to start directing our demands for more material policy demands. Yes, we need justice for Drew, but if the best case scenario of one of the 7 murderers gets sent to prison for a very short sentence, right, nothing else is going to happen on that. I'm telling you, and if it does, great, right, but I want to temper your expectations. But if that happens, what's there to prevent the sheriffs from doing it again to another person? What's to prevent ECPD from doing it again to another person? Right? Justice is important. But what is more important, in a way, is making sure that the same situation that happened does not happen again. Right? Unarmed black men have been getting killed over and over and over and over and over again. Derek Chauvin went to jail. Andrew Brown was murdered the day after Derek Chauvin was sentenced. Or rather, was found guilty. Right? If justice fixed the problems from ever happening again, Andrew would still be here. I would not even know the guy's name, right? Derek Chauvin being found guilty didn't do anything to reform policing. It didn't do anything to make police a little bit more apprehensive. All it did was one cop was sacrificed so that the system could continue like business as usual, right? So what we need is policy demands. We need them to reform. We need them to abolish. We need them to get rid of these motherfuckers, right? Because as long as these people have power, and as long as the laws give them undue power over society, they will keep killing us, they will keep imprisoning us, and they will keep us oppressed. And you need to understand, justice is important. It's important. but it's not the only thing, right? It's not the only thing. So I just wanted to be very clear about that. God bless Elizabeth City. This is a great movement, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And day 39, motherfuckers, happening in 45 minutes. So I got to finish this shit really quickly. But yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hopefully y'all are having a good time. Like I said before, today is starting pretty early, so I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. Again, I appreciate everyone. I'm sorry to encroach on your time slot. Good morning, comrade. Right? My apologies. Right? But again, I love all of you. I thank you all for watching. And again, I want to also promote this as well. If you are interested in contributing to Andrew Brown Jr.'s family in any fashion, I have linked a GoFundMe. You can see this right here. And if this is something that you want to do, feel free to do so. If you would like to give me some money so that I can afford a better phone plan so I can upload more HD videos, feel free to do so. And again, please, the most important thing you can do is just share. Share the videos, share the GoFundMes, share as much as you possibly can. Tell your grandma, tell your fucking, your grandma's grandpa, or, whatever. But again, thank you all for watching. Thank you for, well, I already said that. Goodbye.
Everybody comes in your grandmother. Everybody comes in your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, your cousins. Everybody comes in your grandmother, your...
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave in the worst parts of Europe, produced from the lowest forms of humanity. They felt pretty comfortable after day 2.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
Get your words straight, Jack.
Well, you have to understand, the first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting, pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police. Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Jeff. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. Everybody comes in your grandmother here.
Is this thing on? Because it should be off. Fuck. Is it...